Saints. Luke Johnson covers them for The Advocate, joins us on Thursdays via the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Luke, how we doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. It is our pleasure. Kellen Moore, the favorite now to be the Saints' new head coach?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're pretty much all in on him, and it really just depends on what he wants to do. But it's just the fact that it's even gone this long, right? And the coaching search is still ongoing. Just kind of keeps continuing to point toward Kellen Moore being the guy.
Do you think it's been a mishandled or discouraging coaching search because you've heard names that have surfaced that have said thanks but no thanks, or do you think that the Saints are just doing their due diligence?
I would say not mishandled, but disappointing for sure. I mean, maybe it has been mishandled, right? We just don't know the details of why some of these candidates have basically said no thanks. The Aaron Glenn one and the Mike McCarthy one, I think, are explainable, right? Aaron Glenn clearly had his sights set on the Jets. I think you could reasonably say that was a good choice for him. The Jets have a lot of problems as an organization for sure. They have a huge question at quarterback, but they have some really appealing pieces on their roster. They're obviously in a better salary cap space. It's maybe a place where he can more easily succeed as a first-time head coach. So you get that. And the Mike McCarthy thing, they never even talked to him. So it doesn't even really feel like he was a true candidate. They wanted to talk to him, but if you're a head coach with 18 years of experience and you won a Super Bowl and you've been successful at every step of the way, and doesn't really make a huge concerted effort to come get you, then set it out and find a better job next year. The one that is really kind of concerning is Joe Brady. Just basically telling him I'm not even going to consider the job. I'm not going to come down for a in-person interview. That set up the red flags. So, if the Kellen Moore thing doesn't work out, and they're on to option number 5 or 6, I think even if it's somebody the Saints feel really good about, and they think they hired a really good head coach, they're going to have a PR problem. It's going to be hard to sell that candidate when you had 5 other guys say no thank you.
What do you think the Saints find appealing about Kellen Moore?
Can you repeat that, Hunt? I'm sorry.
It's all good. What do you think the Saints find appealing about Kellen Moore?
Well, I mean, he's 36 years old, and he's had a lot of success when he's been an offensive play caller. He's had 6 years as an offensive coordinator in the NFL, and 4 of those years he had a top 10 offense. So there's proven ability there to get a really good offense going. I think the question about him is is he just a coordinator, or can he handle the head coach job, which is the question you have about any first time guy. I think you'd feel a little bit better about it with Aaron Glenn because he's so charismatic and it's not readily present with Kellen Moore. But the success is there. You feel really good about that. You feel really good about the fact that a lot of the successful head coaches in the NFL right now are young offensive play callers. So, I think this would be a good hire if he accepts the job. And if he doesn't, I just think it's going to be a hard sell to the fan base.
Is Darren Rizzi still in play here?
I think he is. If he wasn't in play, I think he already would have taken another job as a special teams coordinator. I think the Denver job is open, and they're probably waiting on what's going to happen with this. So, I mean, I don't know this for sure. Nobody's telling me Darren's still in the mix, but I think just reading the tea leaves, it just feels like he's still a viable candidate for them, especially if they don't have an answer from Kellen Moore.
My issue with that is if you end up hiring Darren Rizzi, and I don't know if the Saints are considering that or not. You seem to think they very much are, and we'll see. But if they hire him and Clint Kubiak's already walked, that would suggest to me that you fell back and you thought you were going to do something different, and then you circled back and it was a little bit late.
I totally agree with that, Hunt. And that's going to be like the problem here is like if they don't get Kellen Moore and it's Darren Rizzi or Anthony Weaver or Mike Kafka, any of those guys are going to feel like a fallback option, even if they weren't, right? Like even if the Saints are just like, yeah, we really like Anthony Weaver, like all those guys are going to feel like your fifth best shot, and then on top of that, they're going to have to hire a completely new staff because all the guys who were on the Saints staff are gone, or a lot of them are already. So I just they really needed to be Kellen Moore.
I'm curious, you may not know the answer to this question, but I figure I'll ask. Like, you're coming up on one of the biggest drafts in recent memory for the New Orleans Saints. They've got to restock these shelves, and they've got a lot of picks. What is Darren Rizzi doing right now? Is he working for the Saints? Is he just waiting to hear back from them? I realize that you've got an entire personnel staff that's going to go to the Senior Bowl and is going to evaluate what they need to, but, like, what is Darren Rizzi doing?
As far as I know, he is at home.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked to somebody here. I'm at the Senior Bowl. I'm actually pulling up to the stadium right now. I talked to somebody yesterday, and they said the only people the Saints have here are their college scouting department. Mickey Loomis was out here yesterday, and then they have a number of coaches who are like coaching in the actual Senior Bowl. And those are a lot of those guys are kind of like lower level assistants. It's weird to call Jari Evans a lower level assistant, but he's like the assistant offensive line coach. They have their assistant wide receivers coach out here. They have their assistant linebackers coach out here, and that's the only like member of the like football side of things, the coaching side of things, who are out here, which is like a really big departure from the way the Saints usually operate. They usually have a bunch of their staff out here. Usually for only for like a day or two, but they're out here to look at the players. That's not the case this year. It's just really the college scouting staff and the guys who don't know if they're going to be on their coaching staff next year.
That's an odd spot to be in. Any idea as a timeline for this thing? Do we think that if we feel like it's Kellen Moore, they're going to have to wait to officially announce things till after the Super Bowl? Maybe a report leaks next week. I mean, how do you feel like the timeline's going to go here?
Yeah, they can't do anything officially with Kellen Moore. If he's going to be the guy, they can't do anything officially with him until after the Super Bowl. So, we'd be looking at, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday after the Super Bowl. Whereas if they get a sense from Kellen Moore, like that he's not going to take the job, like they could announce their hire anytime, really. But I think that the longer this thing drags on, the more it points toward Kellen Moore being the guy. And like he can have like a soft agreement in place, like a handshake, like, yeah, I want to do this. And he can start like kind of reaching out to guys and gauging their interest in being part of his staff and everything like that. But they can't come to any sort of like real agreement on it.
Right, understood. What's your assignment over at the Senior Bowl? What are you getting into over there?
I'm trying to pretend I know ball. These things are always kind of tough to me because like everybody's out here, they're like, wow, look at this guy's route stem, and I'm just like, dude, whatever, you don't know what you're talking about. Let's just like get our 10 minutes to talk to these guys after practice, see some interesting takeaways from what they think about their own draft prospects, and then I stay out till about 2 a.m. trying to find coaches or agents to tell me some fun stuff.
There you go. Just find some bourbon nearby. You'll enjoy yourself. All right, Luke, I appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Luke Johnson with the Advocate, Saints beat reporter over there at the Senior Bowl. I think that's kind of what we all think. I think if it's Kellen Moore, like if you don't hear anything by Tuesday of Super Bowl week, you probably have your answer, right? Like that's going to be your guy. We all kind of anticipate that there will be some sort of high-level report from a source that's got people in the agent world that says, Saints are heavily targeting Kellen Moore, something like that. It would indicate like, yeah, there's nothing official, but they've shaken hands, and that's going to be official pretty quickly after the Super Bowl's over. And as Luke said, like if Kellen Moore kind of looks at him and goes, I appreciate the conversation and have enjoyed it, but I think this is where I want to be for another year. Like then all of a sudden you may just pivot immediately and go, all right, Mike Kafka, you're the guy. And we'll see. But as I mentioned, they're like, they hired Darren Rizzi, and like you've had some staff guys walk out the door. That just kind of shows, in my opinion, that you kept swinging and missing and then grab the guy off the bench. That's kind of what it feels like. But we'll see. Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.